definitions are what spiritualism is basically built on. This church was a member of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches till approximately 1989. So let's read these definitions, because this stuff is gonna come up when I tell the ghost stories. Lots of ladybugs. Okay. Number 1, spiritualism is the science, philosophy, and religion of continuous life, based upon the demonstrated fact of communication by means of mediumship with those who live in the spirit world. Number 2, a spiritualist is one who believes, as the basis of his or her religion, in the communication between this and the spirit world by means of mediumship, and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teachings derived from such communion. Number 3, a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibrations from the spirit world and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teachings derived from such communion. Okay, so what I am is a medium. Anyone who is the pastor of this church in all directions of time will be a medium. Past, present, future. Nobody but mediums here. And some of you are mediums, because I know that, because we are teaching you to become mediums. When you come here regularly, you do learn how to meditate and access your companions in spirit. And I know some of you very well, and you are studying to become mediums. So there are future and present mediums here today. And a medium is basically anyone who can talk to spirit and hear them and either write them out, channel them somehow through writing, through talking in tongues, or just sharing what spirit says to them. A medium is a channel, and there are many ways to channel, even paintings, automatic paintings, automatic writing. Okay, number 4, a spiritualist healer is one who either through his own inherent powers or through his mediumship is able to impart vital curative force to pathologic conditions. We have had spiritualist healers here for years. Modesty is involved. It's not good to brag. I do some healing, but it is very on the down low. I certainly do a lot of healing for people that are myself and others close to me. The man in the picture, the rectangular picture on the right, Alex Dworsiker, he was the pastor here in I guess 1910, between 1910 and 1920. And his wife Rose is on the left in the other rectangular photo. He was a healer who made salves and potions and lotions and gave them out to his parishioners. We are living in a time that is no longer cool to do, so we aren't doing that. And we certainly don't talk about it, but traditionally the people who have been pastors here have some healing ability. People who are ordained in the psychic science tradition have healing ability. We just might not run around talking about it. It is not the focus of this church. Because of the times we are living in, the focus is healing, but it is not hands-on healing. Because of the lack of safety in today's world, insurance companies, etc. But I have, some of you have heard this before, but Alex Dworsiker on the right, he was a pastor, and then his wife later was a pastor. Rose Dworsiker on the left. Clara Tweely here to my left, the closest photo, rectangular photo. She was pastor for 35 years, a very excellent psychic. Thank you, Clara. She was a wonderful, wonderful pastor and psychic of this church. I spoke with her last night. Alex Dworsiker delivered the sermons in Walloon and people stopped coming because most of the people the young people who had come here from Belgium, they didn't speak Walloon anymore. So then they had a shift. I guess that was about somewhere between 1910 and 1920, he had to shift over to English. And that didn't go so well. I heard, I was not here. But those were the days. And the people who started this church broke away from the Catholic Church down the road. And in our website, there's a write-up on the history of the church. It's very interesting. You might want to check it out. It says that 400 families broke away from the Catholic Church. That is inaccurate. You do not see 400, you do not see the pews in this church to accommodate that many people. I would guess it was more like 40 families broke away from the Catholic Church. And there's a write-up on that in our website. There was a showdown between the priest and John Everts. He's our founder. He's in the oval frame in the middle. And he was from De Pere. He ran a tavern. His wife was dying. Some of you have heard this before, bear with me. His wife was dying and no one could heal her. And finally they found a spirit healer, just as what I was speaking of, people who live a quiet life and don't have big signs hanging outside their house about that they do this. And this individual was able to save his wife, and she told John Everts that he had the same gift as she did, and if he could develop it, but he had to quit selling spirit and start communicating with spirit. He was so grateful that his wife lived that he let go of his tavern, and it was in De Pere somewhere. And he started lecturing up here in the town of Gardner, in different people's houses. There was no church at this time. And then after he lectured and I guess he channeled too, then the people built him a church. And this is it, and I believe it's in the back there. We have a few documents. I think it was 1887 or 1889 that this actual building got built. But before that, he just went to people's homes, like the song we just sang, in homes and halls and temples. Still they come for our dear sake. Okay, so we were on number 5. The phenomena of spiritualism consists of prophecy, clairvoyance, clairaudience, gift of tongues, laying on of hands, healing, visions, trance, apports, revelation, levitation, raps, automatic and independent writing and paintings, photography, materialization. We will speak about that extensively today. Psychometry. Actually, when I do the flame messages, that is actually a form of psychometry, divination. And voice and any other manifestation proving the continuity of life as demonstrated through the physical and spiritual senses and faculties of man. I think we will skip the bottom. It's basically spiritualism is a science, it's a philosophy, and a religion. Obviously, if we've been here for 139 plus years. What I want to say today about spiritualism, I don't know why so many people are afraid of it, except, let me see, that would be some kind of indoctrination. For me, it gives me great comfort to talk to spirit every day. I couldn't be here without it. And I think that's true of some of you who come here on a regular basis. So it might be a science, and it might be a philosophy, and it might be a religion, but it is also a way of life. And when you can talk to your loved ones in spirit, when you're and that you miss them, but you can talk to them, you can continue the relationship you had on earth. There is nothing better than that on this earth. And when you can talk to the angels and they can heal you because you're sick or you're sad or you're in pain, there is nothing better than that. So spiritualism to me is a great, great blessing. And I am amazed every time we have a service that there are not 500 people in this church. But there's a reason for it, and I'm beginning to see that, I'm beginning to understand and accept that it's a discipline. Spiritualism is a discipline. And that's why there's not 500 people here. That's what I believe. What do you think, Garrett?
I agree.
I always say when you smile at me, you're going to get a message. When you sit there and scowl, I probably will not give you a message. Because when I give a message, or anyone who is a medium comes to you, we become you in that instance. And if it's not that easy of work. If you are sad, then I am sad in that moment. If you have physical pain, then I have physical pain in that moment. If you are crazy, then I'm crazy in that moment. So what is very difficult about channeling is that it is easier to do with people who are on a very high level, who are very evolved, who meditate, and who are positive. It's much easier to tune in to positive people. And let's face it, when someone dies that you just adore, you don't feel very positive. When you just lose your job or you have terrible pain, it's difficult to be positive. But the purpose of this church, and probably all churches initially, is we can help you get back to that place by working with a team and building your life, aspiring to a higher level of living, and raising your consciousness and helping you to be a vehicle of light on this planet as you go through your life, bringing light to wherever you go. And that's what we aspire to do here. We are no longer associated with the National Spiritualist Association of Churches. We are independent. We can do our own thing, which is why I can wear pants when I come here. If you are a member of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, excuse me, at Camp Wanawak, they would not let us. We had to do services in dresses. So there's weird things like that. They don't believe in crystals, even though they sell them at the camp. So there's some weird stuff. So we don't have those rules here. We just are, but we are a spiritualist church, and our actual name, our official name, is the White Star Psychic Science Church, which is a little more specific and scientific sounding than just spiritualist, but it's all the same thing. So that's the background.